We back again with another video. It's your boy Fred. Totally blessed. Y'all like and subscribe. You know the vibes, man. Oh yeah. And we back again with another video. Finna jump on the tour. You know how we do it, man. Oh yeah. Now we about to talk about your boy Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? The biggest boss. So your boy Rick Ross has some stuff going on. He been trending lately. Him and Gunplay fell out. We all know about that, and I don't think he was wrong for that. Before we jump into what we really talking about, but what he really was wrong for, and this is old information, it's just resurfacing the scene. Now, if you don't know, Rick Ross is 50-50 with this now. I'm gonna say before I jump into it, either Rick Ross, a real motherfucker, or Rick Ross, phony as ever. He got allegations where, okay, Rick Ross was a security officer, and he for the prison and all type of stuff they was saying. And then he said that he wasn't, and this, that, and the third. Then he stole his name from the Rick Ross. He got from the real Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross. You go check it out if you don't know.
He released a Ross in uniform, and he'd speak exclusively with all hip-hop, stating, "My life is 100% real. These online hackers putting a picture of my face when I was a teenager in high school on other people's body. If this shit was real, don't you think they would have more specifics, like dates and everything?" So a then 32-year-old Ross claimed the pic was photoshopped, his kingpin lifestyle was real, and there was no proof behind the CO allegations. Well, a media website by the name of The Smoking Gun would send in a public records request receiving 86 pages from the Florida Department of Corrections about Officer Ricky's short career. A photo of William Roberts, aka Rick Ross's state of Florida application, would state he received his diploma from Miami Carroll City High and went on to Albany State University to study criminal justice. On his supplementary application, he'd state his nickname was Big East and denied knowing anyone in prison, along with never working in prison or in law enforcement. Now, with every new recruit, the Department of Corrections wants to know how willing you are to complete your correctional duty. Ross would check off he's willing to work rotating shifts, carry a firearm, and work with violent inmates, homosexuals, etc. He'd also state he's willing to shoot an inmate who's attempting to escape, body search a male or female inmate, and write an incident report. In 1995, Ross would take an oath of loyalty to support the Constitution and would receive a letter stating he's now officially a correctional officer trainee at the South Florida Reception Center. 5 months later, it was now 1996, and Ross would receive an award for completing 540 hours of basic training. Ross was now an official corrections officer and can be seen taking a picture at his graduation ceremony. 4 months later, he'd receive a certificate of appreciation for perfect attendance from the same woman he can be seen shaking hands with at his ceremony. But eventually, all good things must come to an end. And in June of 1997, Ricky Rose sent in a resignation letter and officially left the force. But like I said, this isn't new news. This came out back in 2008, and 50 Cent started calling Ross Officer Ricky in 2009. That same year, Rick Ross would admit to XXL it was in fact him in the pictures. He'd state, "Me not answering or addressing that situation has nothing to do with my career. I've accomplished enough and I've made enough money for me to be good. Yes, it was me in those pictures, but I'ma tell you this, me taking that job, I was doing my job. You understand what I mean?" He'd continue on saying the stuff he talks about is real, the dope is real, and the gun talk is official. But fans would forever speculate, when exactly was Rick Ross in the streets serving bricks? In an interview with the Full Send podcast, the alleged kingpin was asked about his time as a corrections officer in Florida State Prison.
He got that name from somebody else, Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? So that's a red flag right there. Then You know, he on one side he says that he in his raps and everything anyway, he says that he was in the streets and did all this other shit or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't or whatever. I don't know what you do, and I ain't against you for being no security. Hell, I do security. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I'm not downplaying it that you got to work or do whatever. But you did not say that in the beginning. You said that you was not there and you only did it for a couple months or whatever. They got papers and homework on this man. They did homework on him, and they said that he was there for a while. Now he could have got on through the jail and all of that. He ain't gonna tell you all his business or whatever. That's just common sense. That's smart. Now I'm not gonna tell you everything, so you can. I'm not gonna play myself. You know what I'm saying? Even if you listen to some of them songs, these people be telling on themselves. You go listen. But anyway, Rick Ross, the rapper, versus the real Rick Ross, versus the nigga that we talking about, the biggest boss, Daniel. So we got that, but we about to jump into what's her name? Remy Ma. She got a movie coming out. It's called The Biggest Boss. So I think he had her change the name or he tried to sue her or something like that. Long story short, I don't know if the movie is about him per se, but it's about a officer that is an officer that, that was a dirty officer pretty much. And he was selling drugs and doing that thing in nature or whatever, it came up. Now, some people say she changed the name, but she's still gonna drop the movie. So really, the movie is slick about him, allegedly. But then the movie is about some other dude. What I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Where she went with it, because she got a movie deal, and see, you gotta watch. See, a lot of these rappers and people doing movie deals now, and they trying to. Because you got to understand, rap ain't really selling like it used to. So that's why even with the whole 50 Cent and T.I., they all trying to battle and do all this other stuff now. Because unless you just got a hot song, like T.I. got Look what came out with that checker flag, you know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation. But I'm just saying that rap ain't selling like it used to, so they doing other stuff now. But she making a movie on Rick Ross, the biggest boss, and he not too happy about it. But what it's doing is resurfacing old wounds now back to the internet, and people calling them phony, this and that. People were saying that years ago. He was correctional officer and all this, whatever, and all this stuff about Rick Ross. But see, what he messed up is just not said, because he said he wasn't before. All he had to say, but see, maybe there's some dark things there that he don't really want to talk about, maybe. So you can't really blame him on that. But you know what I'm saying? Who knows? We'll never. Only he know, and people that was around, and things of that nature. Obviously, Remy Ma knows some things too. If she making this movie, I ain't saying it's about him. I would want to see. I want to see it though. I definitely want to check it out. And see what's going on with that. I don't know if it's gonna be on Tubi or what it's gonna be on, but I want to check that out. You feel me? But yeah, definitely it's gonna be something with that. But Remy Ma is definitely on to something with that. So we gonna jump into that and see what's popping with that later on or whenever it drop. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Is Rick Ross a phony and a fake gangster? Or do you think he really did a lot of things that he was talking about? Or he just had a break, you know what I'm saying? I believe Trick Daddy and somebody else put him on. He was ghostwriting for people and stuff like that too. So it's a lot, I don't know Rick Ross' whole story, but I know he came up and he was trying to say that he came up off drugs and all of that, and that with like selling drugs and stuff like that. His first song, Everyday on Hustling, he talking about selling kilos and all this other shit. Now I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that he was selling big weed as far as weed. But I don't know about the kilos and all that other shit. I don't even know about the weed alleged, but that's what they were saying. That he was selling big, you know what I'm saying? Back when he came out and shit like that, the Kush and all that, the Loud and all that shit was big back 2010, 2008-ish, going to 2010, shit like that. The Kush and all that, the dro, you can get away with giving motherfuckers some dro, and it's really some good ass mid. You feel what I'm saying? Shit like that. Niggas had the shit from Cali, you know, a whole bunch of shit. But I'm just saying, if you know, you know. But who knows? You feel what I'm saying? This is what this man is saying, and this is what the people's talking about. So, you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, hey, go do your homework. But then you got people like, what's his name, on 1090 Jake, who be all on, that's a whole other story, be all on people about paperwork and all this other shit. He been talking about that shit. So I don't know. Rick Ross, it don't matter because he still got a bag. But I'm just saying, the past is the past. But do you think he fabricated a lot of that shit he talking about? If he did, it still worked. But do you think that he did it? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment what you think, though. But I ain't gonna hold you, man. It's your boy Fresh. Say less. Y'all like and subscribe. You already know the vibes, man. I'm out.